A little under the weather?
Yes. It's cold.
It is cold outside. Yeah, is your apartment warm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all, but the sleeping room.
Oh, the rest of it doesn't have heating?
No, I don't use it.
Oh.
Oh, have you tried one of those? You want to steam?
Oh, then
I
it is
see. Don't be.
but my
It's your
room-
health. It's your health.
But my sleeping room is perfect.
I'll give you money.
Oh no, it's not that.
You have to use the heating. The whole apartment.
It keeps your whole apartment.
You know you could get sick.
I got sick. I was 2 weeks here, not here.
So don't be stingy with your health.
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't be stingy with your health. Seriously.
Is this cheese?
Yes.
Oh, so it was yogurt.
You don't like cheese?
If you eat it and think it's yogurt, it will taste like yogurt, just like the man tastes like. Guys, it's different or something.
Yeah, fair. Just like the man.
Yeah.
Tastes like anything. Good.
Because it's got no flavor, so you create the flavor.
Get close.
Get close.
Boker Tov.
Oh,
Please open up to Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, what page is that on? Shema Yisrael.
I didn't even need to look, I just found it.
Ah, what page you got?
319.
That's one version of it. Let's go to the first.
Mine 151. 152.
Okay, either one is fine. As long as you found it, that's what's important. Let's practice. Do you know how to say it in Hebrew? Yeah, let's hear. Let's hear. Eov, go ahead. Shema Yisrael. Oh, thank you. Sir. This is for you if you want.
This is me?
Amen.
Yeah, amen. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
Amen.
But if you like glass, you can have glass instead. Binyamin, like the glass is for you in case you prefer it.
Yeah.
In case you prefer glass, yes. Oh, Haranel. Good to see you. It's warm here. Soon it's going to warm up even more. All right, your turn. Hananel, say Shema Yisrael. Good.
Amen.
I think you're supposed to say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Olam Vaed. Now you, Stephen. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Olam Vaed. Because when you heard God's name, someone pronounced God's name, Hashem, Elokeinu, Hashem. So everybody around, there's an ancient tradition that this is I think I've told you this. It's a beautiful midrash that when Yaakov was dying, remember Yaakov? Where did he live?
Egypt.
He died in Egypt. He lived all over the place, but the end of his life was in Egypt, right? And how many children did he have? Sorry? What does that mean?
Isn't that Egypt?
No.
What's
Egypt?
Mitzrayim.
Mitzrayim.
Alright.
Yeah. How many children did he have?
12.
12. And you know what he was afraid of when he was dying? Maybe one of the children is leaving the fold, going OTD. What's OTD? Off the derech. Off the derech. And so he was, you know why? Because it says at the beginning of Parashat Vayechi that he was about to tell everybody the future. Come or gather around, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future. And then he felt that he didn't have it. His prophecy left him. And he was thinking, maybe it's because one of my children that gathered around is OTD. Hananel. Can you imagine that? Yaakov suspecting that one of his children is not following the path of Judaism.
Which one was it?
Yeah, I don't know. So all the brothers were really upset. They were feeling no, it's not true. We're all faithful. And you know what they said? Shema Yisrael. Who's Yisrael?
Listen, Israel, the Lord is my God, the Lord is one.
In this story that I'm telling, who's Israel? Yaakov had a different name. 2 names for Yaakov, right? Yaakov and Yisrael. So they said to him, Shema, listen, our father, Yisrael. I don't know why they didn't call him dad. They should have said Tati. But can you imagine if Shema Yisrael was Shema Tati? For all generations? It'd be amazing if they knew Yiddish back there in Egypt. Tati's Yiddish for dad, daddy.
Is Yiddish the same as Hebrew? Because I know it's in the same language.
Hebrew's Abba, and Yiddish is Tati. It's like daddy in English. So, the European languages. Shema Yisrael, they said to him, listen, our father, Hashem Elokeinu. What does that mean? The Lord is our God. So all 12 of them. All
12 tribe leaders.
All 12 tribe leaders. They all stood around Yaakov's bed and they affirmed their faith. And they said, Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Echad. Do you know you're supposed to extend the Daled? If possible.
Some people go zzz.
Yeah. Because you cannot extend the Daled. Daled is a dental stop. You cannot extend it. So they try to play around with it. Yeah, Chadeh is not the word. So it's complicated. So usually we just extend the ah and then conclude it with a Daled. But the idea is they all gathered around. They said, Shema Yisrael. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We all believe in the one God. Lord is our God. We worship Him. And the Midrash says that he responded. Who's he? Yaakov responded. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. Translated as, blessed be the name of His glorious kingdom forever and all time. There's going to be a future to this Jewish people after all. And blessed is the name of His glorious kingdom. The name is how God appears in the world. How does He appear in the world? Through the Jewish people. So, this is why, after hearing somebody say Shema Yisrael, we all respond, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. Yes?
Wasn't it Chanukah who said Baruch Shem?
Well, there are a few different midrashim, 2 different stories. There's also one about Moshe Rabbeinu taking it from the angels. All sorts of stuff like that.
You know, Rabbi, when I was little, my father used to tell me, don't do this or Hashem will get angry, don't do that. Or
Did he tell you that? Yeah.
Or Hashem will get angry. I understand Hashem can get angry, but we all need to know His anger is not like ours. It's not an emotion. It's because He doesn't live in a place where there's a time. He lives in a timeless place. So
Right.
His anger doesn't come and go. His anger would just come, and I don't know. That's the problem. That's why
Right.
it's scary, because we don't know that type of anger.
Right.
So I used to think to myself, oh, it's just human anger. But we all know, Hashem isn't a human, so he surely doesn't experience the same type of anger we do.
Definitely not the same type, yeah. Definitely not the same type. Wow. Yeah, it's hard to grow up like that if you think that Hashem's angry with you all the time.
No. Well, it depends. Everything can make him angry, but if he was really, but he's got such good self-control.
Self-control. Also, I would say that it's not that Hashem is only angry; He also has love. We're His children, right? So He loves us. He wouldn't have created humans if He didn't love us, right? So it's a mix. It's a mix. We say that we attribute all these human emotions to God. But you're right that it's not the same. We don't really know. We can't define what God is like. He's kind of unknown. But anyways, good point. Good, interesting comment. I'd like to go back to the Shema Yisrael, Shem Echad. Let me hear you say it now, Zev.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. Good morning. Oh, good. We just. Binyamin is here.
He's warming us up.
He's.
You look good, Benjamin. We're happy that you're more healthy now. Thank you. You look a little younger. How did you do that? The haircut. You had a haircut.
Me? I don't know.
What was this subject? What was this?
He's leading the class.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
Gibor, a courageous man.
That's it. That's right. Tzvat Hashem. All right. Let's hear you say it, Binyamin. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto L'olam Va'ed. Wow. I like the way you sang it, Zev. It's good when you sing things as a child and you remember them. Songs are good. Do you know that song? Do you know that tune? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. When does the Chazan use that tune? When he takes the Torah out on Shabbat. Shabbat morning. This is an Ashkenazi tune that he uses. Very good. So that's popular. Everybody knows the first line. But you know who knows the first line? My 3-year-old granddaughter. She's amazing. But how old are you, Hananel? A little more than 3 years old? How old are you, Zev?
19.
19. Wow. So you must be ready. You must know a little more of the Shema, right? Not only the first pasuk. The next line also. So let's hear the next line also. So turn the page. In my book, I'm looking at page 154, 155. And I want to hear you read the second line. Wait a minute. Before we do that, what did we read about? What did we actually say? Hear, O Israel. The Lord is our God. The Lord is one. Does that have anything to do with our Parsha? Who remembers what we said yesterday? Zev, you missed it. But what did we say? That there is... The whole Ten Commandments are somehow hinted to in the Shema. So in the first pasuk, did we hint to any of the commandments? Which one? Which one is that? Shema Yisrael is hinting to which of the Ten Commandments?
First.
The first.
Then the second and the third.
Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, hints towards the first one. We have a parallel here. And then Hashem Echad hints to the second one. And then the next verse, Ve'ahavta, which we're going to say now, is maybe a hint to the third commandment. Not to, what's Lo Tisa? Don't take Hashem's name in vain. You won't disrespect Hashem if you love Him, right? So repeat after me. Ve'ahavta. If you look at the page, you see that there's a little, looks like a little L upside down, not upside down, but it's below the Aleph. And then there's 2 dots on top of the Taf. Do you see that? What are those notes? Turn the page, Benjamin. We're looking at this.
It's the tune.
It's the tune. It's the cantillation notes. That's why I put an emphasis on the Aleph. Ve'ahavta. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. One word at a time, Benjamin. One word at a time. Repeat after me. Ve'ahavta.
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 Got it?
Ve'ahavta.
Say it.
Ve'ahavta.
One word. Ve'ahavta. Good. Hananel. Steven. Eov. Great. A lot of people, you know what they say? Ve'ahavta. It's not ve'ahavta. It's ve'ahavta. Okay? The emphasis is on the last syllable, really. And a little bit on the aleph as well. It means, and you shall love. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. Bechol levavecha. Repeat after me. Bechol levavecha. Make sure you separate the two lameds, one word at a time. Zev, repeat after me. Bechol levavcha. It's two words. Hananel, you hear that? Bechol, stop. Levavcha, second word. Bechol levavcha. Uvchol nafshecha. Uvchol meodecha. Okay, interesting. You should love Hashem your God with all your heart,
Amen.
and with all your soul,
Amen.
and all your might. Me'od.
Strength.
Strength, might. Good translations.
You know, there's a saying: it's easy to love Hashem when everything's going well, but when everything goes south, that's when it's hard to love Him.
You're right. You're right. Let's hear you say the first sentence. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Good, Stephen. Ve'ahavta. Last word. Hananel. Good. Ayov. No. Emphasis on the tough.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Good. Good morning, Amram. Binyamin, let's hear you say the first sentence. On page 155.
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל
בכל לבבך
ובכל נפשך
ובכל. One word. One more word. Good. Now I have a question for you. Which word out of this sentence does not have the emphasis on the last syllable? Most Hebrew words have the emphasis on the last syllable. I'm looking at page 155. So which words do not have the emphasis on the last syllable?
Et.
That's the last syllable.
Okay, then wachol.
Nope, that's the last syllable. So the emphasis should be on the chol, which is the last, the end. Nope, it's on the cha. The emphasis is on the last syllable. You guys are 3 strikes, you're out. No, that's uvechol. The emphasis is on the last syllable. There you go.
What, I thought I was wrong.
Why did you say it then?
Because I wanted to see if I was wrong.
You're not wrong, you're right. Because you don't say Elohecha, you say Elohecha. If you look under the hey, in that word, there's a little line. You see the little line next to the 3 dots? That shows you that that's where the emphasis is. It's actually not a line, it's like an upside down horseshoe type of thing.
Like a plus, like a half plus.
Well, it's kind of
Under the cup.
it's got a little thing on the top. It's called an etnachta. It's a symbol where that's where the emphasis is in that word. Wherever that note is under the hey. And so the hey gets the emphasis. So it's not Elohecha, it's Elohecha. I'm reminded of Hermione. If you don't know Harry Potter, there's a witch Harry Potter?
I don't like witches.
Have you heard about Harry Potter? Do you know the book? So in the first book, they're learning how to do their spells in the British school. And you know the spells. Anyways, she's trying to teach them how to wave her wand and say the spell properly. Wingardium Leviosa. It's not Wingardium Leviosa. It's Leviosa. So it's not Elohecha. It's Elohecha. The emphasis has to be on the right syllable. Amram, do you see another word which is not the regular emphasis on the last syllable in this sentence? Hanana, how about you? Do you know what I'm talking about? Al-leva, but that's not in our sentence. What does this pasuk say? B'chol levavecha. It's not levavecha. Levavecha is a different pasuk in a different place. If you look at the next pasuk, at the end of the second pasuk, our same page, the last word on the line is levavecha. Then you'd be correct, Amram. But you notice the spelling's different? In the first line, the word lamed vet vev vet vet chaf sofit. You see there's both in the first line and in the second line? Do you see it?
Too much information.
Too much information.
Okay. Come on.
One more time. One more time. We have the word we're looking at now is levavecha. Lamed vet vet chaf. Can you find that on the page? Page 155. There's two. There's two. The first line and the second line. They both have the word lamed vet vet chaf. Do you find that, Hananel? Yeah? Zev, you might want to turn to page 155 together with the rest of us. So the first line is bechol levave. You see the two dots under the vet? Levavecha. And the emphasis is on the chaf. And the second line, what's the vowels under the vet? It's 3 dots, not 2 dots. And that's a segol. And that's levavecha. 2 different pronunciations.
I have a question.
Shoot.
You know that in the whole ubehol, in some theory, I don't know how to. What's the name for this nekud?
Kamatz?
Yeah, the kamatz.
The plus sign, yeah.
It's like a A, so it's not very very small. So how to get to know how to pronounce that? Those kind of things.
I can teach you, but in this Sidur,
no, it's well pronounced, of course.
in this Sidur, they have if you'll notice, underneath the word bechol, underneath the chaf, there's a kamat sign, that plus sign, but it's larger than usual in this Sidur. Look at the size of the kamatz underneath the word bechol and underneath the word levavecha. It's a different size. Do you see that the kamatz is bigger under the word bechol than the word levavecha and the word ve'ahavta? That's because it's confusing. That this sign is called the kamatz. This sign, called the kamatz, underneath the letter, it has 2 different pronunciations. Sometimes, 2 different pronunciations. This is what Amram was saying. Sometimes the pronunciation is just like an A, ah. That's usually the kamatz is an ah sound. But sometimes it's even though usually the sign, the symbol is exactly the same, you have to know, because you know some diktuk and you know the rules of the Hebrew language, the pronunciation is not ah, like abba, as a kamatz, abba, but it's o. It's o, like kol.
Because it's like 2 minutes sometimes in a row, and then they cancel the R out, and then they make it an O.
That's good thinking, yes, that's correct.
Example, there's a word to say around Mecca. Why you say with kaf if it ends with halves of it?
It's a good question. It's a good question. One question at a time. First, I'm still answering your first question. So there are rules about how you can know when that same symbol, that same kamatz, what sound does it make? Does it make the O or the A sound? The rules are quite complicated. They're not that complicated, it's just advanced. But this Siddur made it easy. You know what they did? They changed the symbol. They made it look a little bigger and smaller. And so if you look carefully, when you read carefully, you know that you should say ve'ahavta. Do you see the kamatz under the aleph? The first word? It's ve'a. It's not ve'ohavta, right? It's ve'ahavta. But if you get to the word bechol, you should be saying not bechal, you should be saying bechol. Okay? So that's to answer your question, Amram. But first, I want you to understand that people don't read it properly because the word levavcha that I wrote here on the board, this word appears in the first pasuk with one spelling, and in the second pasuk with a different spelling. You see the spelling's different? No, the spelling is the same. The vowelization is different. The nekudot is different. The first word is levavcha. Levavcha, the emphasis remains on the chaf at the end. And the second instance, levavecha, the emphasis switches from the last syllable to the one before it. And Stephen said correctly, or was it Zev, who said in the word Elohecha, also we should be pronouncing the emphasis on the hey, not on the last syllable. There's one other word there in the first sentence that does not have the emphasis on the last syllable. Who can point it out for me?
Hayom.
No, the emphasis is on the last syllable, hayom. Which word in the first pasuk is pronounced with the emphasis not on the last syllable? No, that's the end. Good. We don't say me'odecha, we say me'odecha. It's like Elohecha and levavecha in the second sentence. So you can see a pattern already. There are some words where the emphasis does not remain on the last syllable. Anyways, let's practice it one more time. Hope you got something of that diktuk lesson. We can't go into too detail, but we do have to read the Shema as carefully as we can. So,
Meodeka, Eliata, Meodeka, you say Meodeka.
no, meodecha. Should be meodecha. There's no dot here in the chaf. In the Aromi Mecca, there is a dot in the kaf. So it's kaf, not chaf. But here it's chaf. When you follow the vowelization, if there's a dot, it's kaf. If there's no dot, it's chaf. Ready? Page 153, 55. Repeat after me. Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta. Et Adonai Elohecha. You hear that, Yov? Elohecha, right? It's not Elohecha. Ve'ahavta. The emphasis is on the last syllable. Ve'ahavta. Et Adonai Elohecha. It's an exception. Bechol levavecha. Hananel. Bechol levavecha. Amram. Bechol levavecha. Uvechol nafshecha. Everybody. Uvechol. Next line now. Me'odecha. Okay, good. Amram, recite the entire pasuk. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את השם אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Stop. Very good. Eov.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך,
Nope.
אלוהיך,
There you go.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Good. Stephen.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Nope. Me'odecha. Israel, let's hear you do it. The first sentence. Page 155.
ואהבת את השם אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Okay, stop. Just the first verse. Okay, hopefully you got that. Second verse. Vehayu. Repeat after me. Vehayu. Hadevarim. Ha'ele. You can see that the emphasis also here is not on the last syllable. It's not ha'ele, it's ha'ele. Vehayu. From the top. Vehayu. Repeat after me. Vehayu. Repeat after me. Vehayu. I can't hear Hananel. Vehayu. Hadevarim. Ha'ele. Ha'ele. Asher. Anochi. Metzavecha. Hayom. Al. Levavecha. This one is different than the one we said in the first sentence. The first sentence it was levavecha, and this is levavecha. See, there's different pronunciations. Okay.
Why metzocha?
The vav sometimes is a vowel, tells you to say o or u, right? It's a vowel. Sometimes the vav is a consonant. So it's just like any other letter that makes a sound.
How do you know it's a consonant or not?
It depends on the nikud, the vowelization, the dots. Here the dots underneath it is two dots. So the two dots, they make the sounds v. Shows you that that's the sound to make. Okay? Hananel, say the entire sentence. Vehayu. Did you hear what Ayov asked? The vav here is a consonant. You pronounce it like a V. Me-tza-ve-cha. Again from the top. One more time. Vahayu. Hananel. Nope. V. Mitza-ve-cha. Again. No, not mitzavecha, mitzav-cha. The emphasis remains on the cha. Mitzavecha, mitzavecha, mitzavecha. Okay. Good. Israel. Vahayu. Good. Amram. Good. Stephen. Nope. The vav here is a consonant. It has the sound of a V. Nope. The emphasis is not on the V, on the vav. The emphasis is on the last syllable. Even though you pronounce it as a consonant, it's mitzavecha, mitzavecha, mitzavecha. Nope, you're putting too much emphasis on the vav. Even though it's a vav and it's you do say v, but the cha is what you have to emphasize. Mitzavecha, mitzavecha. Mitzavecha. Everybody say it with me. Vecha. Vecha. Hananel, you're not saying it. Vecha. Yisrael. Vecha. Vecha. Now say mitzah. Now say mitzah. Vecha. Mitzah. 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 Now vecha. 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 Mitzah. Vecha. No, Stephen, you keep getting it wrong. Mitzah. Vecha. Not vecha. 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 There you go. Vecha. Vecha. Mitzah. Vecha. No. Mitzah. Vecha. There you go. Vecha. Say it again. Mitzah. Mitzah vecha. Mitzah vecha. You just changed it. Mitzah vecha. No. That's not vecha. It's vecha. Mitzah vecha. Sometimes, so here too, you know what I said that's confusing about the Hebrew vowels? Is that these make two different sounds. Also, the two dots here, what's that called? It's called the shava. That also has two different sounds. Sometimes it's an e, ve, vecha, and sometimes it's ve, cha. Right? This is a more pronounced vecha or v. Mitzah vecha. Mitzah vecha. Mitzah vecha. You're pronouncing the v too much.
It's like, you know, the words don't and won't. The emphasis is on the O. It's not on the N. You know, the N and then the apostrophe and then the T. There's no emphasis on the N. So we don't say donut.
Right, it's not a donut. It's don't. It's not a donut. Donut, right? There's no vowelization of the N. Very good. That's right.
So
here, actually, it is a little bit emphasized, but it's a good example, Zev. Thank you. All right, one more time. Now, Zev, you do it. Vayu.
והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך.
על
לבבך.
Nope.
על לבבך.
Nope.
What, I don't get it.
What does it have underneath the vet? Which vowel is there? The second vet in the last word is 3 dots.
Yeah, so that's also an E.
That's an E, so say it right. Levavecha. Now you said it right. Now this one is levavecha. You follow the dots. You follow the vowelization. Okay? Repeat after me. Vehayu. Hadevarim. Ha'ele. Asher. Anochi. Metzavecha. Metzavecha. Hayom. Al. Levavecha. You got it. Ve'ahavta. Et. Adonai. Elohecha. Bechol. Levavecha. ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. Okay, good. You got it? So this is how to pronounce the first two sentences of the Ve'ahavta. Ready for one more? Let's go. Keep going. Love Hashem with all your heart. And these matters should be on your heart. Vishinantam levanecha. You see the two dots on top of the nun? That shows you that the emphasis is not on the last syllable, like the word vishinantam is. This one is levanecha.
How is this going to help when we're reading chop signs and it doesn't say any of these little dots?
That's a problem. If there's no dots, they should have these cancellation notes
I know,
in the
really
newspaper too.
They really help.
They're very helpful. So, but we care more about how you read the Shema than you do how to read the newspaper, right? Or the shop signs.
True.
So, let's do this. This is a mitzvah to read every day. This is our tradition. Vishinantam levanecha. V'dibarta bam. Don't make the mistake. A lot of people say v'dibarta bam. No, it's v'dibarta bam. V'dibarta bam. Beshivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha vaderech. You see how each word, one word is, the emphasis is on the last syllable, and the next word, the emphasis is on the not last syllable, the penultimate syllable. V'lechtecha vaderech uvshoch becha uvkumecha. Okay, let's try that. One more time. You should teach them to your sons. You know what the word means, vishinantam? What are these? Hebrew.
Speaking.
What are these in Hebrew?
Shinantam.
Close. Shinayim. Did you ever go to the dentist? What's a dentist called? Rofe, doctor. Shinayim. Rofe Shinayim. So vishinantam, some people say the word means you should, the words of the Torah should be sharp, like teeth. Sharp like shinayim. In there to your children. You should be teaching them to your children so that they know it sharply. Sharply means you pronounce it properly here. Vishinantam levanecha. V'dibarta bam. Beshivtecha beveitecha. Uvlechtecha vaderech. Uvshoch becha uvkumecha. You see, one word, the emphasis is on the last syllable, and the next word, the emphasis is before that. Okay, let's practice that. You start, Binyamin. Vishinantam.
Vishinantam leha.
Good. V'dibarta. V'dibarta. Bam. V'shivtecha. V'veitecha, right? Lechtecha. Vaderech. Uveshoch becha. Mecha. Good. You see underneath the shin, what's the vowel?
Shin.
Which? It's a kamatz, but which kind? You see it's bigger? You see it's bigger in this edition?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that word?
So, uvshoch becha uvkumecha. Uvshoch becha uvkumecha. Okay, Yov, let's hear the full sentence. Vishinantam.
Vishinantam levanecha.
Nope.
Levanecha.
Nope.
Levanecha.
Levanecha. That's right.
Levanecha.
ודיברת.
בם בשבתך.
Good.
בביתך.
Where's the emphasis? Should be on the taf. It's going to be on the taf. בביתך.
ובלכיתך.
Yeah.
בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך.
Mecha. Good. Hananel. Top of page 157. The top. Hananel. Oh, you're in different. Okay, go ahead. ודיברת בשבתך בביתך. ובשוך בך. Good. Israel. בביתך. תך. Emphasis on the te. Kumecha. Okay. Amon.
ושנתן לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובביתך בדרך ושובך בדרך ושרתם.
No, you skipped the line. ובשוך בך, beginning of the second line.
ושנתן לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובביתך בדרך
ובשוך בך. ובשוך בך. ובשוך בך. Good. Stephen.
ושנתן לבניקה.
נכה.
לבניקה. דיברת בם בשבתך
בביתך.
ובלכיתך בדרך
ובשוך בך. ובשוך בך. ובקומך. Okay, Zev. No. What's the third word? So it's not v'dibarta, it's v'dibarta. Good. That's it. We'll stop here. Let's do the last two lines now. Ukshartam. Repeat after me. Hanana, I can't hear you. Ukshartam. Leot. Al Yadecha. You see the word Yadecha, there's a little sign underneath the Dalet. It's Yadecha. Vehayu. Letotafot. Bein Einecha. One more time. Ukshartam. Leot. Al Yadecha. Vehayu. Letotafot. Bein Einecha. Uchtavtam. Uchtavtam. Al mezuzot. Beitecha. Uvish'arecha. Uvish'arecha. The emphasis is on the resh. You can see the little line underneath the resh. Okay, last chance. Zev, let's hear you say ukshartam.
Ukshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot beinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
Good. Stephen. Ukshartam.
Ukshartam leot al yadecha.
Yadecha.
Yadecha. לתותפות בין
עיניך.
וסתם על מזוזות
ביתך. Good. Amram.
ושרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לתותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Good. Israel. ביתך ובשעריך. Good. חנניה.
ושרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לתותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך
ובשעריך. איוב.
וכשרתתם לאות.
Say again.
וכשרתתם.
No, you're saying an extra ta. Just once. Ukshartam.
וכשרתתם לאות על ידיך וחיו. וחיו.
Here too, the vav is a consonant. Vehayu.
וחיו לתותפות בין עיניך.
U. Here it's an u, not a v. U. וכתבתם. וכתבתם.
וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך
ובשעריך. Good. Binyamin. Ukshartam, the second line.
ושרתם לאות על ידך והיו
לתותפות
בין עיניך
Uchtav tam. Uchtav tam. Uchtav tam. Uchtav tam.
Uchtav tam. Al
Mezuzot.
mezuzot beitera
Recha. Wish al recha. Yafeh.
Why do we say instead of like the two dots down?
As I said, there's two different sounds. Sometimes the shva, it's called the shvanach, a resting shva. Sometimes it's shvana, moving shva. It only has movement in certain instances. Usually this is called a vav, which combines. It's a combining, it's like together and that usually, the tradition is, it does not have any movement to it. So it's a shva.
How do we know?
There's rules I could teach you one day, but it's a little more, it's advanced. Okay?
Rabbi,
Yeah?
on the next page it says, this shall be, they shall attach to the tassel at each corner a thread of blue. This shall be your tassel. So to each tassel, does that mean, I have to understand, did they have the exact same type of tzitzit as they did back then?
Good question. Yeah, the blue string is a fascinating new phenomenon that we were able to rediscover. How to make the blue dye for the strings of the tzitzit, as it says in the Torah. So you can see mine is coming apart already. Look at that.
Fake?
It's not fake.
No?
Oh no, I paid top dollar for it.
Right.
But it is coming apart, and that's why I have here a brand new pair of tzitzit, which I'm going to attach onto my brand new tzitzit.
This is very light blue.
Like this.
It's light blue. Yeah, there are different colors. There's different shades, everything.
What is that?
Amazing.
Techelet.
This is P'tir Techelet, yes.
What is the real Techelet from the Tanakh times?
I think so. We don't know for sure because it's been so many years and we lost the tradition.
But it's a blue diamond.
Fourth.
So that is, it's not 100%.
It's not. We can't know 100%. If you ask me, it's 99.999%. We can't know for sure. There's a little suffix. There is a little suffix.
We're just not certain.
Because the way we know things usually is with a tradition that gets handed down from time to time. But we have to, I want to teach you how to tie on the tzitzit. So you can see mine's coming apart a little bit. It just came apart in my hands. Look at this. It's coming apart.
What happened?
It just got old. It's been many years. And the strings get weak. So I invested. I think I'm going to, after we pray for the captives, I'm going to start to show you how to tie tzitzit.
I wish you
Are
showed
you
me
ready?
yesterday because I was struggling.
Oh, okay. Well,
Are you
yeah.
able to check
There
it?
is a different kind of techelet that they sell, and I have my suspicion, because of the distinct color that you have there, that you might have gotten the other kind, the radziner. It's from a snail, from more of a fish than a snail.
No. I didn't get from the cuttlefish.
What did you get from?
I got he was like the same as that. It was in also.
Oh, I see. Okay, excellent. Whatever.
But
Okay.
it wasn't in the packet. It was like already winded up into like a bunch like that.
Okay. If you say so. Anyways,
So it's the right
so first turn to page 231. We'll do our daily prayer.
So it's the right thing you have to look out for.
What do you mean look out for?
The right thing.
I think it's less authoritative than this one. The chances of that being the correct one are much less, but nobody knows for sure. Page 231, ready? Zev, turn to page 231. You know what I found? כל בית ישראל הנתונים בצרה, צרה ובשביה, עומדים בין בעיה ובין בעיה פרשה. המקור ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה, ומעפר נאורה מצ'בו לגאולה אשתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם לב יוציא מצרה, לרווחה ומעפר נאורה שיבוט לגאולה אשתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. Okay. Now, this is comes with all sorts of instructions. But I want you to read for me. You're gonna come over and sit next to you so you can all see close up.
Can we match the colors, see if they look the same?
No.
It's tough.
Go the other way. Go that way. Do it that way. Sorry to get you out. Now,
I'll be able to move the camera.
sorry? You can move the camera, yeah, sure. Don't need the bomb here. The water here. This is how it comes, and I want you to read, I'm unpackaging it here. You can see that it's brand new. There's a debate about whether we should put on this blue string or not. You asked about the color? Read this, please, out loud for everybody.
These strings have been dyed with authentic techelet obtained from Murex trunculus snails.
Murex trunculus snails, wow.
Dyeing and spinning have been done according to the strictest requirements and expressly for the mitzvah of tzitzis under the strict rabbinical guidance. Extraction of the dye and the dyeing itself are the natural processes done by hand. As a result, there might be a slight variation in shade.
You hear that, Steph?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Extraction of the dye and the dyeing itself are natural processes done by hand. As a result, there might be slight variations in shade.
In shade, that's why your tzitzit are darker than the ones I
Are they fake?
Doubt it. If they came from the same snail. What this is explaining is that because it's all done by hand,
Some can be darker, some
there
can be
can be
lighter.
variations in the shade. Okay, now there are different kinds of different systems of how to make the combination between the white and the blue strings. First thing we do is we separate off the white and the blue strings. Now, how many strings are there in the tzitzit?
There are 4 on each corner.
4 on each corner, which folded over looks like 8. So
1
they're
blue
both right.
and 3 whites on each corner.
That's correct.
And
That's
you
the
fold it over.
one opinion. Other opinions, of course, have, for example, the Ravid, which these strings are patterned after. He believes you should have.
Yeah, I was
Not
just,
the Ravid, somebody else. I forget. They say you should have 2 strings.
I was just talking about mine.
Of blue and 2 strings of white. But we're going to do the system where.
Oh, that's what I meant. Wait. Yeah, I got. No, wait, I got 1 blue and.
As you can see here in the set, they gave me a set for one tzitzit. How many blue strings are there? There's only 4, right?
Yeah.
So for each corner, we're going to take 1 string. So separate off as 1 string for me.
Can we get like thicker strings if you want?
Thicker strings, yes. They make them in 2 formats, thicker and thinner. This one is the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive enough.
So the more thicker
The
it's
thicker,
more expensive.
it's more expensive, that's why.
Wow.
Now, you notice, what are the size here of the strings? This is
Long.
longer, Why are these? How many are there that are longer?
Four.
4. Why are they longer? Why do they make some strings shorter and some longer? I don't know. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
Some strings are longer.
This is for depending the costume. Like this one must be.
Why is some longer and some shorter?
Oh, you tie it.
The long one.
No?
Yeah.
That's right. The long one has to be used to wrap around the other strings. So how many longer ones are there?
4.
4 longer ones. So they're going to need one of the longer ones. So give me now one of the longer ones, please. So I have one of the blue strings. Give me one of the longer strings. 1 out of the 4. So I have one long white one and one long blue one. What am I left with? How many more do I need for each corner?
Yeah.
2 more, right? I need some total of 4. 4. So I need 2 of these. You give me 2 of these? This is my nice new titite. What's this made from? It's made from wool. That's right. The original mitzvah is the clothing was made of wool. And so we put, also this is made from wool. So we put wool on wool. You can use other garments. Do you have 2? These are 2? Good.
This is mine.
Oh, that's an interesting color. Wow. Usually we make them white, but they're kosher of every color. It's very nice.
I think this was on the loom.
So it was what?
I think it was on the loom.
On a loom. It was handmade. That the garment itself was handmade. These were handmade as well. Sorry, are you okay?
Kim, I have 2.
You have
2 holes.
2 holes. Some people have 2 holes. That's a Chabad custom.
I'll pair these up with the other white ones for you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Meantime, I'm going to take 2 of these short ones, 1 of the long one, and 1 of the blue. And now we are going to stretch them out. Okay, as you can see, the 2 short, and then the blue and the white long one is longer. Okay? Now we're ready to get going. Now, every step of this process has to be done, like he overread, has to be done when they spun these into threads from the wool, and then they dyed it. Every step was done for the sake of the mitzvah of tzitzit. This too, sticking the tzitzit into the hole, must be done l'shem mitzvat tzitzit. Nishma. That's right.
You know,
So, are you
Rabbi,
ready? Are you
I
ready?
don't-
Yes.
I don't think there's any right now because of with the confusion between what the right color is and what the wrong color is. You know, which dye is right, which fish is wrong. You know, I don't think there is a legitimate sin to dyeing it with a different fish because there is no real proof. You know, so
Could be.
as long as it's blue, that's what the Shema says. As long as it's blue, that's the main key.
I'm not sure halachically that's true. I don't think it's a sin, but you want to be trying to do the mitzvah as best as you can. So
Yeah.
it's best to do your best, and but there's no. We won't get into the details now of what's prohibited.
But like, there's no sin if you make a mistake here.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, it's kosher in any color, right? So
Really, so you can make it green.
You
Yeah,
could,
I have seen
you
people
could.
that use
Green
black.
If you have a green backing,
I've never seen that.
I will. I know
I've
this
never
person
seen
like
that.
if it's green, you can have green.
Right.
They have
If it's the same color as the garment,
You should also have
kosher.
blue.
Yeah.
So if you have black tzitzit,
One
you
blue
have
and
black
the rest
shirt,
will be
it's
other
okay.
colours.
But if you have a blue shirt and white strings, it's okay. White is always okay. White and blue if you have the blue. If not,
Yeah,
we
but
make it white.
black is very controversial, right?
Never
If
heard
I'm
anybody
allowed to
make
take a peek,
tzitzit.
then I will show
Okay,
you.
yeah, if you can see, I'd love to see that. I've never seen anybody do that. Are you ready? I'm ready. L'shem mitzvat tzitzit.
Amen.
Repeat after me.
L'shem
mitzvat
tzitzit.
Now, so put your book on top of this, and so that it gives it a counterweight, please. Maybe even another book. Put another book.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough.
No.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Now, I'm folding them over. So how many strings are there?
4.
Well, now there's 8.
8.
Right? There was 4, but now it's 8. Okay, so I take them, I want them to be the same size on one of the sides. Obviously, these are going to be a little longer,
Now
right?
you need a shamash.
So I have 2. I have one blue and one white shamash.
Amazing.
Okay? So we're all set? We're all set. We're about the same length. You can see that? So now I'm ready to make my first knot.
Right over left.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did.
All right, great. Okay, L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit.
Amen.
Now this is, you don't say Amen, just say L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit.
Hashem mitzvah tzitzit. And then
Now I
next
want to
week-
make it a little bit tight, and because after I finish, the mitzvah is that it should be on this side, folding, sort of laying down over the corner. Right now I'm just tying it, so that's why I'm making it a little bit shorter. That's why Chabad does this, because it's somehow it's on the corner. That's their interpretation. This is a half of a knot. The second half of the knot I want to do again. The Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. A double knot, that's what the Tosfot says. That's really what's called a knot based on the laws of Shabbat. You're only violating the Shabbat if you tie a double knot on Shabbat. So we do a double knot here. Now we have our first knot. Mazal tov. Okay? And now we're going to do some windings, some wrappings. What's the order? So the Talmud has a lot of descriptions. I'm going to take the longer one so that I can do the wrappings with that. I'm following one of the systems. It's based on the Tosfot. And we do 3 windings of white. Got 3? And then I'm going to take, I'm going to sort of tighten them up a little so that they're a little tighter. And then, one day you'll do this with your tzitzit. And then I'm going to take the blue string. Where's the blue string? Here. And I'm going to wrap 3 with the blue string.
Wow.
That's the fancy way to do it when you have tchelet. Many years we didn't have any option. So we just did wrappings with the white string. Now we have, so is that 3?
Mm-hmm.
We've done 3. So it's a little confusing. It depends which way you look at it. If you look at it from this side, it's 3. If you look at it from
that's what took me so long. I kept getting confused. How many wraps did I do?
right.
Select the
Right. So it's a little confusing. But I think this is, should I do an extra one? Just to make sure. On this side it's 3, so that's good enough. This side is 3, so it's good enough. So I'm going to do another knot. This is my first set of 3 white strings and 3 blue strings, and now I Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit, making the second knot. Second knot. Ready? I'm going to do another set of these. How many times do we do it?
3. No,
There's different customs. But,
7, 8, 11.
so 7, 8, 11, 13 is a system which was devised by the Arizal. Arizal lived in Sfat about 400 years ago. And he said, based on Kabbalah, that those are good numbers. Those are, wonderful,
Kabbalah is very powerful.
wonderful numbers.
What are the numbers?
But 7, 8, 11, 13.
7, 8, 11, 12.
But
Other ones
the
say-
problem
Check yours
is,
if you can count the ones. on
the
yours.
problem
See
is,
if you have the numbers.
Mine have 7.
the problem is that system that the
Did you make
Arizal told us about was
It's
only
very nice.
for
Looks good.
the white, assuming that there was no techelet.
I will only one.
So if you wear only white, so that's what I wore for most of my life. I wore 7, 8, 11, 13. We did 7 wraps, and then 8 wraps, and then 11 wraps, and then 13 wraps. But now that I'm wearing techelet, I go back to the original Rishonim, the commentators that discuss this, and they don't say 7, 8, 11, 13. They say you have chuliot, you have units of 3 and 3. 3 white and then 3 blue. 3 white and then 3 blue. Some people do in between, there's another knot, Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit, and then we'll do once again.
So
White.
Ramban, yes, there's also a different costume, right, for the Temanis.
That's right. They do a little different. They don't do the double knot like I was doing. That's
And
the
other
close
people
fitting.
do Yud Kebab Ke.
That's
right?
right. That's right. There's different customs
I
about
have
how
watched
many
this.
windings, to do. Yes.
What was the brand name for the one that you said was false or non-trustworthy?
I didn't say either of those words. I'm very careful with my words. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression, and I don't want to invalidate anybody's custom. But I said that what I consider to be more likely to be the correct historical snail from which we got the techelet is this company called Petil Techelet. This is the one that I use, and not the other type, which was proposed by the Radziner Rabbi. But I can't say for sure one is right and one is wrong. So I did 3 of white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, with two knots in between. And the last one is only white.
Rabbi, what was the other brand called?
Radzin, yeah.
Can I touch the talikatan?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Because I remember where I went.
Wearing this is comfortable.
I only wear it on top of an undershirt because I find it a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
The wool is uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but
Especially during the summer.
in the
It's like
summer it's very hot.
itchy.
Yeah. Very itchy, that's right. So I wear an undershirt, so it's okay. It doesn't bother me.
I sometimes wear this overshirt on Shabbat and stuff.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a special one for wearing over your shirt. It's a little uncommon, but
No, you'd only see this roughly 1,000 years ago.
yeah, exactly. It's not quite a Western style of dress, but there we did. We finished our last double knot. Shem mitzvah tzitzit, and we've done one.
That's
Are we
beautiful.
finished?
No.
Now, it says in the Talmud that you should have 1/3 should be the windings, and 2/3 should be the strings. So it works out perfectly, right? See that? That's very nice. And I got these particular strings out of many others, because I find that the standard ones that they sell you, 2 problems I have with it. One is that they're very long. Look at this.
You can always cut it.
I like long.
People like it long. I don't like it long because then it gets caught. And the Talmud says it has to be 28 centimeters. 12 thumbs worth. So 12 is 24 centimeters. So if each thumb is 2 centimeters, so 12 centimeters is 12 thumbs is 24 centimeters. This is like 40. It's almost double the length it has to be. So these, they get you definitely kosher.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're shorter,
Can
it's cheaper.
Oh, it's cheaper. No,
It's like half the price almost. Half the price. Now with the techelet, it's more expensive. If you're just doing white,
Yeah.
what, 10 shekels, 20 shekels, 30 shekels, but this is 100 shekels. And if you do it the longer ones, it's 200 shekels. So it's a big difference.
So how much did it cost you for these
I
60?
can't remember. I think this is about 100, and this is about 60. So 100.
So 100 for just the blue.
Yeah, for these strings. For
But
the
the hell is
strings.
160 shekels for the whole thing?
For the whole thing, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Because I got the shorter strings. Okay, that's one. Now I'm going to put it over here. Like when I wear it, it's going to be hanging over the corner like this. And that's one out of 4. Should we do another one? Yes.
Rav Menachem,
Yes.
is it okay proceeding this way? The thicker ones I use is only for the talit gadol because using teeth for talit katan is very uncomfortable if you put it inside.
I see.
Rabbi.
It's okay. They're all kosher. Either whether they're thick strings or thin strings. All of these strings were made according to the halacha. Even the thinner ones are very, very good quality. Only after many years, I was showing you before, it starts to disintegrate. And they're all double 8. They make thin little strings, and then they put together 8 of them for each one of this. Each one of these strings is actually probably not 8, but 16 times. Each one of these strings, if you open it up, you'll see that it's made out of tiny little strings. So it's very thick. Even the thin ones are thick, but the thicker ones are even thicker and they last longer. So If you want to pay more to get higher quality, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to put it on a talit gadol, put it on a talit katan. There's no rules about that. Okay,
But
you
the
ready?
most important thing is it's saying lishma. Because
L'shem.
otherwise,
That's right. L'shem mitzvah tzitzit.
L'shem mitzvah tzitzit.
L'shem mitzvah tzitzit. Okay.
Rabbi,
Yes.
are you any good with telling what's the right wrapping method and what's wrong? Like,
Yes. Again, I don't think it's a question of right and wrong. I think it's a question of different
length?
customs.
No, because like
Different
some of them they only go like one, like say one of my strings only goes here. It doesn't fold double.
Ah, I see.
Is that bad?
It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Should I do it differently or? I don't
It
know
could
what
be
to
that
do.
if you just tied it a little bit tighter, like if you look at yours,
Yeah.
it's very loose. Each knot, it takes up a lot of space. And if you did it all tighter, it would become shorter. And then the strings part would be more proportionally to
Should I redo it?
Maybe you should, yeah. This is going in the
Would
other
there be
direction.
time you could help me do it?
I'd be happy to help you.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is 3 white. You guys following what I'm doing? And now I need to get 3 blue, right? Take the 3 blue. It's a little tricky doing the white and the blue, but once you get the hang of it, it's not so hard. 3 blue. Yes?
When you are abroad, you use the Italian outside or inside?
Ah, I see. Well, listen, I grew up in Canada,
Okay.
which was relatively safe from anti-Semitism. What I hear now, Shem mitzvah tzitzit, right? Shem mitzvah tzitzit. What I hear now is that it's more and more dangerous, even in Canada, because of the anti-Semitism. So you're asking me really a question about security. It's not a question about la halacha. Halacha is, it's ideal to have the tzitzit out so that you can see them. Although there are customs, like most Sephardim do not wear the tzitzit out, they wear them in, following their tradition that it might be considered haughty, arrogant
Yeah,
to wear your tzitzit out.
disrespectful with our scholars because they didn't use it that way.
Right, if your tradition of your community was to keep them in, so you should wear them in just like that. You're not better than they are, but it could be not a question of tradition, but just a question of security. If you're going to be in danger because somebody identifies you as a Jew and they may hurt you,
Who cares? I'll stand up for being Jewish.
you think?
Yep, I
Well,
did it in Australia,
good for you.
and they try to fight me there.
Right, so if it's something that you can handle, by all means, it's important to be proud of your heritage. But if
Your life is always in.
your life is in danger, then it might be irresponsible. Depends on the country you're in, the situation of the anti-Semitism,
And it
and
depends how much you trust Hashem as well. That plays a big impact.
okay. I think we have to follow the rules of the security experts, and if they say that this is something too dangerous. Now, for example,
It's like in Tehillim.
there's a war. Because there's a war in Israel, there might be more anti-Israel sentiment.
Okay.
Believe it or not, even though we're the just party in this war, somehow they've managed to twist reality, and people think that we're the aggressor, even though, of course, this is a war of self-defense. And therefore, the authorities might tell you, while the war is going on, wear a baseball hat
But it was just like
instead
this
of a
before.
kippah.
That's the thing. Before this war started, before October the 7th, they were treating me just as bad before.
I see.
Yeah.
But it could be that the numbers of people that are, or their willingness to act on it, get more brazen now. It's not a precise science. It's hard to know what the level of danger, and so usually we have the security experts, and they will tell you Now you can wear your kippah, now you can't. Now you can wear the tzitzit out, maybe now you should hide it for now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's but the best solution is, what's the best solution?
Avoid conflict.
No. What's the best solution?
That's the solution.
Come back to Israel. Come to Israel. What are you doing living amongst the Goyim?
I know.
Being afraid.
I said that to my friends.
That's right. The Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. I think we're done here. We did a second one.
Fast.
Should we do a third?
Yep.
You ready? Give me two. Give me two.
Now, because in Sweden, you get beaten in the head.
Wow.
Because
That's dangerous.
they pass the corridor and they look at you there.
Thank you. Wow. No, if it's
Wait.
dangerous,
Sweden.
Yeah.
there are some people that say, bring it on, I want to fight.
I got some news to share.
Yeah.
In London, either it was yesterday or the day before, a Muslim guy attacked a Jewish grocery shop in London this year, and he pulled a knife out on a bunch of Jewish guys, and they had to use shopping trolleys to get in between, to put it in between them so he couldn't stab them. And one of them picked up a broom to protect themselves. It was very dangerous, and eventually he ran off. And then I asked the same question again. Tell me how this is a war about, how this is a peaceful protest. And also in I think it was Switzerland. France. It was in France. They painted Jewish stars on Jewish people's houses, like big Jewish stars marking their doors.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's just been bad.
I want to explain one more thing here. I don't know if you've noticed, but throughout, I've been keeping apart, separate, the two.
Yeah, to kind of this.
The two sides of the 4 strings and the 4 strings. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
That I'm always keeping here separate, 4 from the 4. The reason for that is a very interesting halachic reason. You don't have to do it, but it makes the laws of tzitzit a little more lenient afterwards. Why? Question is, what happens when some of the strings get torn?
Because this is the one who leads the.
So it's not kosher if you don't have any of the strings left. So, for example, show me your tzitzit. Bring out your tzitzit. Put them on the table so everybody can see. Move back a little. Move back a little. There you go. Okay. Now, how many are there? There's supposed to be 8, right?
Yeah.
But we know that the 8 is really 4, correct?
Yeah.
The 8 is really 4 that's been folded over. So let's say one of them gets cut off. Hold it in your hand. Let's say this one's cut off over here. Is it still kosher?
Yes,
Why?
because it's
You have the other one.
could be the other one.
That's right. You have half. Really, you do have 8 string. Do have 4 strings. You only see 7 out of the 8, but one on the other side of this one for sure is there. But what happens if you cut? Now hold this too. If you cut off 2 strings,
Not kosher.
it's not kosher. Why? Because it could be you only have 3, not 4. Because it could be that this is from the same string
Yes.
on either side, and therefore you only have 3 strings instead of 4. But if you, all the way when you were making it, you made sure that these 2 sides are separate, and then you can know if one was from here and the other one is from here also. Hold it. Then it's still kosher, because you have on the other side from you have from the 4 strings. You have something from the 4 strings. But if you don't separate them while you're making it, you don't know. It could be that got confused, and really these 2 are from the same string, and so you don't have the 3 strings.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm always keeping separate the 2 sides, so that if it gets broken,
I thought it was too. Well, you have the cost.
What is wool? I don't know. It's material.
Shem mitzvot tzitzit. Now, what do I'm keeping doing. Three white and 3 blue.
Because somewhere they have this.
Maybe soon I'll bring in some tzitzit and let you practice on your own.
Yeah. So when you go to the stores, you must know.
Now the blue.
You bought in
This is the last time I'm doing the blue.
Yeah, but handmade by Ethiopian.
Because the last one I only do.
Ethiopia.
How many units do I have in wrappings according to what I've been doing? The white, 3 white is 1. 3 blue is 2.
Lots of Ethiopian.
Binyamin?
Benjamin.
Binyamin, could I get your attention here?
I'm sorry,
I'm
sir.
still teaching here.
I'm sorry.
How many units do I have?
4.
How many knots do I have? Let's start with that. That's easier.
1, 2,
Look at the ones that are finished.
It's 4.
4.
It's not 4 knots?
Nope.
5.
How many knots? Count them
At
with
the total, with
Stephen.
the white and the blue
The
together.
knots. First of all, count the knots. How many knots are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 knots. Show everybody. Everybody look at what Stephen's doing.
5.
Count them.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
5 knots. That's right. 5 knots. And how many strings do we have?
8.
4.
How many strings are there?
4.
How many does it look like at the end? You're right. It does. It looks like we have 8 strings
Okay.
coming out, right?
Yes, yes.
8 strings coming out.
Yes.
5 and 8. How much is that?
13.
13. And when you hold 2 tzitziot, then what do you get? 26. 26 is one of the names of Hashem.
Yes.
The name Havaya that we say during Baruch Shamar. That's patterned after the name of Hashem. Last one. So that's a nice idea. So we have 5 knots and 8 strings, right? How many units of wrappings do I have? Stephen, count them. 1 unit of 3 white, and then 1 unit of 3 blue. Look over here. This is a unit of 3 white, and then there's 3 blue. It's called the chuliyah. And then there's another 3 white and another 3 blue. Count them. How many do we have? Shem mitzvot tzitzit.
3, 4.
It's 5.
I don't know what that
5.
is.
No.
Cancellation.
It's here, right?
1 unit of white and 1 unit of blue. And then another unit of white and another unit of blue, right? And then another unit of white. Can you give me some tension, please? Put the books here or something.
I have it on my computer, but I can't find this.
So how many? Amram, how many units? How many units are there?
5.
No.
No, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units.
Units,
Four. No? What do you mean with units?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
A set of 3 wrappings is a unit.
1, 2, 3, 3. Right? 1, 2.
Each 3 wrappings is a unit.
1, 2, 3. Huh? I don't know.
No. 3 white is 1 unit. 3 blue is another unit.
Yeah.
So how many units are there? If you have 3 white and 3 blue. 3 white, 3 blue. 3 white, 3 blue. And then we have 3 white. Do you see that?
3.
2 units, 2 units, and 2 units, and then 1 unit.
You know a secret?
How many is that? Can you? You're not counting. Count your.
7.
Do you see that?
How do you
Can you count 7? How do you count 7? Show them how you count 7.
Or I count 5 in my mind.
No, 7.
No.
How do you count?
I get the point.
How do you get 7?
Because the Rabbi explained that.
3 white is 1 unit.
Yes.
Another 3 blue wrappings
2 units.
is a second unit. Go ahead.
You know
And then there's a knot, right? And then there's a knot. You see that? Follow along on the tzitzit.
Rabbi.
I mean, this is very confusing for me because this is the first time I see this way.
Okay, so but you're learning, so I'm trying to
Can I
teach
show
you.
you mine?
No, look at mine. Look at this. It's not too confusing that you can't figure it out. Everybody go to that side of the room.
Seven.
Take this. Look, how many units are there of wrapping?
Rabbi.
Yes, sir.
1,
You want to know a
2, 3,
secret
4.
Hashem has with
I
the
see.
tzitzis?
Sure, 1 minute though. I'm just trying to teach something else, and then I'll be happy to hear your
7.
ideas.
How?
Which one?
Because this is
Count them. Show them how.
Yes,
Show them
yeah,
how.
sure.
Show them how.
Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Should I show you?
The white?
yeah, please.
Yeah, with the white and the blue together.
Here's 3 white. Okay, 3 white.
That's 1.
1. Okay, hold up your finger. 1. And then there's 3 blue, right?
Oh,
So that's 2.
okay.
Okay. Then there's another 3 white. That's number 3. Then there's another 3 blue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's another white and another blue.
The last one.
And the
white.
last one is white. Sum total?
7.
7. There's 7 chuliot. That's the minimum. The Talmud says 7 chuliot is kosher, or to a maximum of 13. Some people, when you have long strings, they do more windings. Usually 7, 8, 11, 13. They do 13 units of wrappings.
No.
Because I have shorter strings, I do 7. It's kosher too.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all kosher, even if it's not
What about this
precisely
one?
the exact amount of
Did you do this one?
No.
It looks really good.
Safari.
Wait, something messed up here.
Are you Sephardi?
There are some fancy ways of wrapping,
Okay.
additional
I didn't
fancy
know.
ways of
No,
wrapping.
you were Ashkenazi. I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
No, because he was looking out very seriously, so that's why.
I'm serious.
It's all good.
I'm also very serious.
Maybe he was a Levite.
That's right. Who knows? Anyway, so I have 3 white and 3 blue. Again, almost done. 3 white and 3 blue, and then I do another knot. Shem mitzvah tzitzit, right? Double knot. This is the Tosfot's custom of the double knot. Then we do once again the white, and then the blue. But there are many different. Some do alternating. 1 white wrap, and then 1 blue wrapping. 1 white, and then 1 blue. Some people do that. There's different customs. They're all kosher. It's just, different ways that the Rishonim understood the Gemarot. Now I'll do my last blue here. 1, 2, and 3. Tighten it up here. And then, you see I did 3, so I got 3 wrappings. And now I do my double knot. And 1 and double knot. I'm almost done. How many chuliyot do I have here? How many chuliyot? Count. How many chuliyot? How many units?
5.
7.
7.
So far, what do I have?
1, 2, 3.
In the one I'm doing now. Look at the one I'm doing now. That's my question. The one that I'm doing now. How many do I have?
6.
6. Now I'm doing the last one. 1, 2, 3. All done. Right? Put it back together. Do my last 2 knots, and then I'll have sum total of how many knots?
7.
No, how many knots?
5.
5 knots. Right?
Where do we get our ink from to write the Torah?
It's an interesting question. It's made from a special dye from a nut, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd get it from a
natural
sweet.
sources, but it's kosher, even if it's from synthetic.
I think
we're
sweet
done.
ink is the best.
Shem mitzvah tzitzit. We have our 7 units of wrappings, and we have our 5 knots. It's kosher. So now I take all my tzitzit, and I'll make a shechina. Should I do it today?
Yes.
Yeah, should I do it now?
We all say amen together. So
Yeah?
We can be part of the mitzvah.
We'll take a half an
We
hour.
were part of the mitzvah.
Okay. All right, if you say so. Because you saw that my old ones were coming apart. Maybe we should turn off the camera and take off the shirt. I don't know.